The Meanest Doll in the World by Anne Martin and Laura Goodwin. Chapter 13 The Queen of Mean. Annabel waited for a shriek, for a scream, for Kate or Nora to wail, "I saw a doll! I saw a doll running in the hall!" She waited for the grown-ups to be called. She waited to see if she would go in doll state for this. But the hallway was quiet. A moment later, Kate walked through her doorway, flopped on her bed, rummaged around in her backpack, pulled out her spelling book, and began reciting. Question. Question. Experiment. Experiment. Possible. Possible. Annabel should have felt relieved, but she didn't. Where was Mimi? Annabel didn't know how Mimi had managed to escape being seen by Kate or any of the Palmers, but apparently she had, and she wasn't in Kate's room, which meant she was just loose in the house. For the next 6 hours, Annabel worried in silence, worried and waited for her father to get to his feet and give the all-clear signal. When he finally did, the dolls and Mom Funcraft gathered in the parlor and talked in hushed, excited voices. "Where do you think she is?" "She could be anywhere." "She doesn't know the humans who live here. She doesn't know their routines." "I can't believe she would do such a thing." Nobody had to say who she was. "Annabel? Tiffany," said Mama, "tell us again what happened when you were at BJ's house this weekend. Exactly what happened." The girls told the story a second time, trying to be as specific about Mean Mimi as possible. They told how Mimi had controlled the Sandra doll and Sleeping Billy and Techno Man. They told how the Sandra doll and Sleeping Billy and Techno Man were no longer on Mimi's side, which meant that Mimi no longer had any friends. "If you can call people who are afraid of you your friends," said Tiffany. They told her about the havoc that Mimi could wreak when the humans were away, and how some of it couldn't be fixed. They mentioned that BJ's family was starting to become suspicious. "Which means that other humans are probably already suspicious," said Uncle Doll, "and suspicion spreads quickly." "Suspicions are insidious," said Papa, and Annabel rolled the word insidious around in her head, thinking that she must remember to ask someone about it later. Once again, the conclusion was reached that doll kind was in jeopardy. "And now the cause of all this trouble is here in the Palmer's house," said Mama. Auntie Sarah looked thoughtful. "But I believe," she said after a moment, "that we are stronger than she is." "Right as might," said Mom Funcraft. "Usually," said Nanny. "The question is," said Papa, "what are we going to do about Mimi?" "We have to find her and get her back home," said Annabel. "How on earth are we going to do that?" asked Mama. "Yeah, even if we catch her, how will we get her back to BJ's?" asked Tiffany. "I'm not sure she should go back to BJ's," said Uncle Doll. "She's too much of a menace." "Well, she has to be somewhere," said Nanny, "and I don't think we want her here." "Plus, if she doesn't go back to BJ's, Callie is going to wonder what happened to her," pointed out Annabel. "Mimi is Callie's favorite doll. Waterfall said Callie plays with her nearly every day. Mimi is putting dolls in jeopardy just by disappearing from her home." "Then I think we'll have to decide what is worse," said Mom Funcraft. "How will Mimi do the most damage? By running around in a strange house where she might be noticed by the humans, or by disappearing from Callie?" "Before we catch her, we better decide what to do with her," said Bobby sensibly. Annabel leaned towards Tiffany and whispered, "Is this a job for Sump?" I think it's too big for some. Tiffany looked nervous, which made Annabelle very nervous. What had happened to her fearless friend? Maybe I should get my husband, said Mom Funcraft. He'll want to be involved in this discussion. I'm not positive where Nora has left him, but he's probably at home with Bailey and baby Brittany. It was decided that Annabelle and Tiffany would accompany Mom Funcraft down the hall to Nora's room. The three dolls tiptoed across Kate's floor and paused in her doorway. Annabelle hadn't felt so nervous in the Palmers' house since the days when the captain used to roam freely. Holding tightly to Tiffany with her left hand and to Mom Funcraft with her right, she peered around the corner and looked both ways in the hall. I don't see anything, she whispered. Me neither, said Tiffany. Okay, let's go. Mom Funcraft led the way. Hugging the wall, they crept in a single file towards the darkness, through the darkness towards Nora's room. Would it be like this from now on? Wondered Annabelle. Had the dolls lost their freedom? They had grown used to being able to run through the upstairs of the Palmers' house, the captain safely banished to the first floor. As long as they kept an eye out for the humans, and as long as they returned to wherever they were supposed to be when the humans were awake. Annabelle and Tiffany had felt free to spend hours visiting with one another, going on explorations with Auntie Sarah, playing games with their brothers. Now, Annabelle realized that might come to an end. She found herself waiting for Mean Mimi to loom out of the darkness, to fire a missile at them. She feared Mimi might discover and awaken some sleepy, dusty, forgotten doll and enlist it in a fight against the dolls and the fun crafts. A cat toy was the last thing Annabelle expected. When one rolled down the hall towards them, its bell tinkling impossibly loudly, Annabelle felt as if she were a pin about to be bowled over. Yikes! Tiffany let out the quietest shriek she could manage. What's that? Cried Mom Funcraft. One of the captain's toys, said Annabelle, jumping aside as the plastic ball bumped to a stop against the wall. Where did it come from? Hee hee! Annabelle heard laughter from the other end of the hall. It's Mimi! It's Mimi! She yelped. Shh! Said Mom Funcraft, and she pulled Annabelle and Tiffany through Nora's doorway, across the floor to her room, and into the pink dollhouse. Hello! Called Dad Funcraft from upstairs. Hello! Dad, it's us! Tiffany called back, but a ringing bell drowned out her voice. The captain's toy hurtled through Nora's room and lodged under her bed. She's going to wake up! She's going to wake up! Hissed Annabelle, peering at the dark shape on Nora's bed. But nothing moved. Dad Funcraft ran down the stairs of the pink dollhouse. Girls, you're home! He hugged Tiffany and then Annabelle. Where were you? We were so worried. And when did you get back? What happened? Did you have an adventure? Dear, Mom Funcraft interrupted him. We have a small problem. She tried to explain to him, quickly and very quietly, who Mean Mimi was and what was happening. Come to the doll's house with us, she said. We need to have a neighborhood meeting right away. Hee hee! Mean Mimi's laughter floated to their ears from Nora's doorway, but no matter how hard Annabelle stared through the darkness, she couldn't see her. All right, said Dad Funcraft, glancing at the door. A meeting sounds like a good idea, but I think we should leave baby Brittany here. I'd rather not carry her through the hall. That doll is loose. She's right outside the door, Annabelle hissed. I'm positive. Then, Annabelle, you and Tiffany stay here with Bailey and baby Brittany. You can hide in the house. No, shrieked Annabelle. And Tiffany said, we're not going to stay here by ourselves. She'll find us. Mom and Dad Funcraft looked at each other. All right, Everybody come with us. Maybe we'll be safer as a group. Huddled together, Dad Funcraft carrying baby Brittany, the dolls ventured through Nora's room. Annabelle put her hands over her eyes as she turned the corner into the hallway. She waited to be hit with something, to be bowled over by something, or to hear the chilling hee hee. But the hall now seemed empty. The dolls dashed along it and into Kate's room. We made it! Kate exclaimed softly, just as the cat toy was fired through the doorway behind them. It crashed to a stop against the leg of Kate's desk. Annabelle heard muffled cries from her house. Hurry, hurry, called Mom Funcraft. Annabelle and Tiffany grabbed one of Bailey's hands and they ran towards the step stool of the heels of Mom, Dad, and baby Brittany. Yo, loyal subjects! Hee hee! Annabelle spun around, and now she could see Mean Mimi clearly. She stood in a patch of moonlight, grinning at the dolls, her lavender clothes glittering. We are not your loyal subjects, said Tiffany, letting go of Bailey's hand and facing Mimi. Mom Funcraft stood beside Tiffany. And please be quiet, she said in a low voice. You'll wake up Kate and then you'll end up in doll state. We might all end up in doll state, called Auntie Sarah from above. Doll state, ha, said Mean Mimi. There's no such thing. Annabelle started to say, there is too. I've been in it. But Mimi continued. Anyway, I think it's time for me to let Kate in on a little secret. She ran up to the head of Kate's bed and looked up. Kate! Wake up, Kate! She called in a voice so loud that Annabelle and Tiffany would have only used it if the Palmers had been gone. Your dollies are alive! They're alive! In her bed, Kate stirred, then rolled over. Annabelle held her breath, willing Kate to stay asleep. And she did. Humph, said Mimi, and ran from the room. The moment she was out of sight, Annabelle, Tiffany, Bailey, and Mom and Dad Funcraft, with baby Brittany, made their way up the steps of the stool and huddled in the doll's parlor. Kate slept soundly. After a long, long silence, Uncle Doll, his head in his hand, said, What are we going to do? No one answered. Annabelle pulled Tiffany aside and whispered, You know what Mean Mimi is doing, don't you? She's getting revenge on us. We took away her friends. We changed her life at BJ's. So now she plans to ruin things here. She plans to reveal our secret lives to Kate.